So, have you ever been like right in the middle of something tough, maybe feeling heartbroken or, really anxious, just wiped out,
Yeah.
and then someone comes along all cheerful, like, hey, just be positive. It's all fine. Could be worse.
Oh, definitely. That sounds familiar.
Did that blast of positivity actually help, or did it maybe make you feel, I don't know, even more alone?
It's a really common experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
Our world, especially when you look online, seems completely obsessed with constant happiness. You just
Totally.
scroll through social media,
Hmm.
and it's like a parade of hashtag good vibes only, right?
Yeah.
Motivational quotes, these endless bright smiles.
Hmm.
It almost makes emotions like sadness or anger
Hmm.
or even just being tired feel, well, forbidden somehow, like you're doing it wrong if you're not beaming all the time.
Yeah, it's like this unspoken pressure, isn't it? Like we all have to put on this happy face, even if, things aren't great underneath.
Exactly. And that pressure, when it gets really intense, that's what a lot of psychologists and mental health folks are now calling toxic positivity,
Toxic positivity. Yeah.
is when that push to stay positive actually becomes harmful. It kind of dismisses real pain, invalidates genuine struggles, and it basically forces us to deny what we're actually feeling.
So wait a second. You're saying positivity, something that sounds so good, can actually be bad for us. That feels backward somehow.
It absolutely can be,
Mm.
especially when it's used as a way to shut down or like avoid dealing with difficult feelings instead of facing them.
Okay.
Think about it. Someone loses their job and you say, oh, look on the bright side. Or maybe someone's grieving deeply and they hear, well, at least they're in a better place.
Oof. Yeah.
Those words, they might come from a good place, right? Trying to help, but they can feel incredibly dismissive,
Yeah.
almost cruel sometimes, when what someone really needs is just for their pain to be seen.
Right, because sometimes you don't need a quick fix or a, sunshine quote. Sometimes you just need someone to sit with you in the rain for a bit.
Precisely. And that's really what we want to dig into today. What is toxic positivity, really? How did it get so, well, everywhere in our culture? And maybe most importantly, how can we learn to embrace the full range of human emotions, the honest ones, instead of forcing this kind of fake happiness?
Because real strength isn't always about hiding the hurt.
Exactly. It's often about facing it.
Okay, let's really get into this then. What's the core definition? Is it just being too cheerful or?
No, it's more specific than that. Toxic positivity is this insistence, this pressure to maintain a positive outlook no matter how painful or complicated or just plain heavy a situation really is.
Right.
It's the pressure to feel happy, or at least look happy, instead of just being authentic, being real about what's going on for you.
Right.
Think of it like this. It doesn't just add positivity, it actually kind of subtracts your permission to feel anything else. It takes away the okayness of feeling sad or angry or scared.
Okay, so it's less about being happy and more about denying the other stuff. How is that different from, say, healthy optimism? Because, optimism sounds like a good thing.
That's a really crucial difference. Healthy optimism acknowledges the difficulty. It might sound like, wow, this is incredibly hard. I'm scared. I'm not sure what to do. But I do believe we can find a way through it.
Mm-hmm.
See, it makes room for the struggle, for the truth of it.
Yeah. It includes the bad part.
Right. Toxic positivity, though, it shuts that down. It says, don't be sad. Don't even talk about it. Just smile and push through.
Mm-hmm.
One embraces the reality. The other tries to, well, pretend it isn't there.
So toxic positivity is like positivity without honesty.
Exactly. You nailed it. It's like putting a really bright, cheerful sticker right over a warning light on your car's dashboard.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It doesn't fix the engine problem, does it? It just hides the signal that something's wrong.
That makes so much sense. And now that you say it, I feel like I'm seeing this everywhere. Can you give us some more like real life examples? Where does this pop up?
Oh, it's everywhere once you start looking for it. Think about social media. Someone posts, feeling really exhausted and anxious today.
Hmm.
And the comments, often it's stay positive
Yeah.
or good vibes only. Instead of something simple like, oh, I hear you, that sounds tough.
Right. Likes empathy.
Totally. Or at work,
Mm-hmm.
a company has layoffs, right?
Yeah.
And the leadership email was all, let's keep smiling, challenges are opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
It completely ignores the real fear and uncertainty people are feeling.
Ouch. Yeah, I've seen that.
Or maybe in friendships.
Yeah.
You open up about a painful breakup, you're heartbroken, and your friend immediately jumps to, plenty of fish in the sea, you'll be fine.
Quick fix mode.
Exactly. Or with families. A child is crying and the parent says, stop crying, you're fine. Instead of what's upsetting you, there's no curiosity, just shut it down. And this is a big one. It often shows up in our own self-talk.
Yeah.
You might feel completely burned out, but you tell yourself, I have no right to complain. Look at what others are going through. Just suck it up. Be positive. You end up kind of guilt-tripping yourself out of the healing you actually need.
Oh, man. That last one really hits home. I've definitely said versions of that to myself and, probably to others too, if I'm honest. Sometimes you lean on positivity because you genuinely don't know what else to say.
Absolutely. And that's a really important point. Most of the time, this stuff starts out well-intentioned. People are often trying to fix someone's pain because, frankly, feeling someone else's pain is uncomfortable. They don't realize that sometimes the best thing is just to witness it first.
Okay, so if it often starts with good intentions, what's the actual harm? Why is this forced positivity genuinely damaging?
Well, it tends to create these three quiet wounds, you could say. First is emotional suppression. When you constantly push down those difficult feelings, sadness, anger, fear, they don't just disappear. They tend to leak out later, often as anxiety or maybe irritability or just this chronic fatigue you can't explain.
Okay, that makes sense.
Second, it leads to invalidation. You start to believe that your pain, your struggle is somehow wrong or inappropriate. You judge yourself thinking, I shouldn't feel this way. And that's fertile ground for shame.
Feeling bad about feeling bad.
Exactly. And third, and this one is really tough, is isolation. If everyone around you seems perpetually fine and happy, you start feeling like you're the only one who's struggling, like you're broken. So you hide how you really feel, and that just deepens the loneliness.
Wow, so toxic positivity turns your own pain into a kind of secret.
And secrets, well, they tend to fester in the dark, don't they? They grow mold.
That's a really powerful image. Okay, so when we force ourselves or others to just be positive, what's actually happening inside our minds, like psychologically?
Essentially, we're interrupting our natural emotional processing system. Think about emotions as like internal signals. Anger tells you a boundary's been crossed. Sadness asks for rest or comfort. Fear prepares you for a threat.
Right, they have jobs to do.
They do. And when you just slap a be positive label over those signals, it creates a lot of internal noise and confusion. It messes with the system. There are a couple of helpful ideas here. One is something called emotional granularity.
Granularity, like details.
Exactly. It's your ability to name your feelings with precision. So instead of just saying, I feel bad, you can identify, I feel disappointed because my effort wasn't seen, or I'm frustrated because I feel stuck. That kind of clarity actually helps you manage the feeling. It reduces the overwhelm.
And toxic positivity just washes over all that detail.
Right. It erases the nuance, just says feel happy instead. The other idea is the difference between authentic emotional regulation and suppression. Healthy coping means you feel the emotion, you acknowledge it, then you choose how to respond. Toxic positivity skips the feeling part altogether and jumps straight to performing happy.
So really understanding your own emotions, being fluent in them, that's a strength. Trying to just squash them isn't control, it's avoidance.
Precisely. True resilience isn't about never feeling bad things. It's about meeting those feelings, understanding their message, and then integrating that wisdom into how you move forward.
Okay, I'm curious about some common phrases we hear all the time. Can we do a quick, rapid fire round? I'll say a phrase. You tell me if it leans more toxic or more healthy based on what we're discussing.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's do it.
Okay, first one. Everything happens for a reason.
That one's tricky. It really depends on the context. If someone's just experienced a huge loss, saying that right away can feel incredibly dismissive, right?
Yeah, totally.
But maybe much later, when they're trying to find meaning for themselves, it could be part of their healing. So timing and who's saying it matters a lot.
Yeah.
Leans toxic if imposed early.
Okay. How about don't be negative?
That one's pretty clearly toxic.
Yeah.
It directly tells someone their feeling is wrong or bad. It polices their emotions.
Got it. This hurts. I'm here with you.
Healthy. Definitely healthy. It validates the pain and offers presence, not a dismissal.
Just smile.
Toxic, almost always, if it's
No.
used to push away genuine pain or sadness. It's asking for a
All
performance.
right. And last one. You're allowed to feel this, and you're not alone.
Oh, that's healing. Pure healing. Permission and connection. Huge difference.
Okay, it's becoming much clearer. So why do we, like regular people, fall into this trap so often? Why do we offer these platitudes?
Well, a big part of it is just discomfort. We're generally not taught how to sit comfortably with difficult emotions, our own or someone else's. Grief, anger, fear.
Hmm.
They make us feel helpless sometimes. So positivity becomes this kind of easy out, an emotional shortcut. It's like, if I can just slap a happy label on this, maybe I don't have to feel so awkward or deal with this uncomfortable feeling.
Hmm.
And then there's massive cultural pressure. Hustle culture yelling, no excuses, keep grinding. The self-help world often sells this idea of constant upward trajectory. And social media, like we said, rewards those perfect, curated moods. We internalize this rule. Good people are happy people. Successful people radiate good vibes.
And if you don't, if you're having a bad day or a bad year.
Then you feel like you're failing somehow, like you're defective. Toxic positivity can actually weaponize happiness, turn it into a measuring stick we use against ourselves and others.
Okay, so if you had to sum up healthy optimism, the good kind, in just one sentence, what would it be?
Healthy optimism is the courage to look pain right in the eye, to acknowledge it fully, while still holding on to the belief that growth or change or finding a way forward is possible.
That feels really different. Not like a mask at all. More like carrying a lantern in the dark.
That's a great way to put it.
So we've talked about what this thing is and how it affects us. Now I'm really curious about the roots. How did our culture get so hooked on this good vibes only mindset? Where did this whole thing come from? Is it history, media, our own insecurities?
It's definitely not random. Yeah, it's a mix of all those things. Toxic positivity emerges from this convergence of history, culture, economics, technology, and our own psychology all sort of nudging us towards the same message.
Yeah.
Feeling bad equals failure.
Okay, let's unpack those threads.
Well, first, there's this cultural story, this myth almost of constant upward energy. Our society tends to worship acceleration, right?
Yeah.
Productivity, growth, always moving faster, getting bigger.
Yeah, the hustle.
Exactly. So if your life doesn't look like this constantly rising graph, you feel like you're falling behind. And any negative emotion, that feels like hitting the brakes. It feels like a problem, something to hide or fix quickly. Your sadness becomes like a PR issue.
Like life is supposed to be a stock chart that only goes up.
Pretty much. And when you internalize that, any dip feels like a personal failing. If you look back historically, think about wartime propaganda or during economic downturns. You see those posters everywhere. Keep smiling, keep your chin up. Morale was tied directly to national survival.
Right. Smiling is duty.
Kind of. Then after World War II, consumer culture explodes. Advertising starts selling not just products, but feelings, aspirations. The American dream, the self-made success story, it heavily promoted positive thinking is the key. If you work hard and think positively, you'll make it. Then you get the mid-20th century power of positive thinking movements, and later things like the prosperity gospel, where happiness and financial success were explicitly linked to moral goodness, faith, or having the right mindset. Sadness or struggle could be seen as a lack of faith or discipline.
So happiness wasn't just nice. It was almost required. A sign you were doing things right.
Exactly. It became a kind of moral yardstick. Then the self-help industry really capitalized on this, didn't it? Big seminars, catchy slogans, no excuses. Your attitude determines your altitude. It sells incredibly well because it promises control. If your success is all down to your mindset, you don't have to grapple with messy external factors like inequality or luck or systemic barriers.
So the difficult truths like burnout or grief or injustice, they just get conveniently airbrushed out.
Spot on. Complexity is hard to package and sell.
Yeah.
Simple, easy to digest optimism. That's marketable. And then, of course, comes social media. The algorithms literally favor simple, high-emotion, positive content.
Yeah, the smiles get the likes.
They do. A raw, nuanced post about struggling might get less engagement than a pretty picture with a caption like, choose joy. So influencers learn to curate that constant glow. And what happens to us, the viewers? We see everyone else's highlight reel, compare it to our own messy reality, and start policing our own thoughts and feelings to match.
And feel guilty for just being human. It's a cycle.
It really is. We absorb the platform's bias as our own personal standard. And think about workplaces. How often is any kind of negativity, even valid criticism, framed as not being a team player or not a culture fit?
Oh, yeah. They're sure.
People learn to wrap their concerns in fake positivity. Everything's great, just this tiny little suggestion.
Yep.
Real psychological safety gets replaced by performing the right mood. Issues go underground, burnout simmers.
Toxic positivity as corporate camouflage. I like that.
It fits, doesn't it? And inside our own heads, there are psychological reasons we buy in. One is affect intolerance. Basically, we're just really uncomfortable with distress, ours or others. So we rush to fix it with positivity instead of just feeling it.
Okay.
Then there's the fear of emotional contagion, the subconscious worry that sadness is like a cold, that it might spread. So we try to keep it contained with cheerful platitudes. There's also the illusion of control, this sort of magical thinking that if I just think happy thoughts, I can ward off bad things.
Like a superstition.
Kind of. And a big one is moralization. We often link being upbeat with being a good person. So anger or grief or fear start to feel like character flaws. And finally, simple social comparison. Everyone else seems okay, so I'd better put on a brave face too to avoid judgment or rejection.
So a lot of this forced positivity is really just fear wearing a smile.
That's a beautiful way to say it, yes. And don't forget the economic drivers, the wellness industry, motivational speakers. There's a lot of money to be made by implying if you're still struggling, you just haven't bought the right product or optimized your mindset enough. Your insecurity fuels the market.
Like a subscription model for self-doubt. Wow.
Right. Each solution promises permanent happiness, keeping us from accepting the natural ebb and flow of emotion. And sometimes in spiritual communities, you see spiritual bypass, using concepts like eye vibrations or good vibes only to dismiss real trauma or difficult feelings. It sounds enlightened, but it's often just silencing pain.
The message becomes, heal, but do it quietly. Don't bring down the vibe.
Exactly. It's silence masked as spirituality. And finally, think about what we absorbed as kids. Phrases like, stop crying, be a big boy, girl, don't be so dramatic. These little messages teach us early on that expressing difficult emotions is weak or unacceptable. So by adulthood, hiding them is often automatic.
And then we just pass those same lines on, like reading from a script we didn't even realize we learned.
Unless we consciously choose to rewrite that script.
Okay, let's do another quick myth-busting round. These beliefs are out there. True or false?
All right, hit me.
Feeling sad just attracts more sadness into your life.
False. Actually, acknowledging sadness allows it to be processed and move through you. Suppressing it is what makes it stick around and fester.
Okay. If I really let myself try, I might never stop.
Also false. Emotions are like waves. They rise, they crest, and if you allow them, they naturally subside. They don't go on forever.
Good to know. Being negative will ruin my chances of manifesting my dreams.
False again. Being honest about reality, the challenges and the possibilities, actually strengthens your ability to make good decisions and take effective action. Denial, which toxic positivity encourages, weakens your ability to navigate the real world.
So what's the overall cost of falling into this trap?
You end up with what I sometimes call shallow resilience. You might look strong and polished on the outside, but underneath, you're brittle. Then a relatively small stressor hits, and you have this disproportionate collapse. It's like a dam that looks solid but has hidden cracks because it's only ever been painted over, never repaired.
So the real fix starts with actually letting the cracks be seen, acknowledging them.
Precisely. Naming them, allowing them. That's where the real strength begins, not in painting over them.
You know, as we're talking about this, it really makes you wonder, maybe we've had it backwards all along. Maybe these so-called negative emotions aren't the enemy we thought they were.
You're absolutely right to question that. Emotions aren't inherently good or bad. They're just information. They're signals, data, not dangers. Each one evolved to tell us something crucial, to prepare us for action.
So silencing them is like ignoring our own internal navigation system.
Exactly. Take anger. It's not just about shouting. It's your internal boundary alarm. It signals, hey, something unfair or harmful is happening here. And it actually energizes you to protect yourself or stand up for what's right.
Okay.
Sadness, that's often your body and mind asking for rest, connection, healing. It slows you down so you can process loss or disappointment. Fear, that's your survival radar. It sharpens your focus when there's potential danger, helping you react quickly. Even guilt, when it's appropriate, acts like social glue, prompting you to repair relationships you might have damaged.
So what we often label negative is actually intelligent, serving a purpose.
Absolutely. Think of happiness as sunlight. Then these other emotions, sadness, anger, fear, they're like rain. Maybe uncomfortable sometimes, but totally essential for the whole emotional ecosystem to be healthy and complete.
That's a really helpful metaphor. But our culture still pushes happiness like it's the only acceptable weather pattern, like you're broken if it's not sunny all the time.
And that's the core of the trap we're discussing. Happiness isn't a permanent state you achieve. It's a wave. It comes and goes. Trying to force it constantly is like demanding 24/7 daylight. But night has its purpose too, right? Rest, recovery, reflection.
Hmm.
And research actually backs this up. When we can name our emotions with more precision, that emotional granularity we mentioned, we feel a greater sense of control and understanding. Instead of just, I feel awful, being able to say, I feel disappointed about X, or I'm feeling frustrated because of Y. That clarity actually lowers stress.
So getting specific is like turning on a light in a dark room. You can see what you're dealing with.
That's a perfect way to put it. Toxic positivity, in contrast, just throws a blanket over everything and says, nothing to see here, just smile. The psychologist Carl Jung talked about the shadow self. These are the parts of us we tend to push away or deny, maybe our anger, our envy, our fear. He argued that denying them doesn't make them go away, they just exert influence from our unconscious. Shadow work is about consciously turning towards these rejected parts with curiosity and compassion, asking, why is this feeling here? What is it trying to teach me? That's where real integration and growth happen.
Yeah. So instead of thinking, I shouldn't feel jealous, it's more like, okay, I'm feeling jealousy. That's interesting. Why? What need isn't being met? What's the message?
Yes, exactly. Treating emotions as teachers, not enemies. They hold valuable wisdom if we listen.
Okay, so if we accept that all emotions have value, how do we actually process them healthfully without just getting stuck wallowing in them?
There's a simple, but not always easy, three-step process that can really help. First, acknowledge. Just name the feeling. Say to yourself, okay, I feel sad right now, or I'm feeling angry. Don't judge it. Just state it.
Okay. Step one, name it.
Step two, allow. This means giving the feeling some space, maybe just for a minute or two. Sit with it without trying to fix it or push it away. Just let it be there. Breathe with it.
Allow it. Got it.
And third, act with care. After you've acknowledged and allowed, gently ask yourself, what do I need right now? Not necessarily to make the feeling go away, but to care for yourself while you're feeling it. Maybe you need rest, maybe a talk with a friend, maybe to journal or go for a walk. It's about meeting your needs.
Acknowledge, allow, act with care. That sounds doable, but I imagine it's hard because we're so conditioned to just run from discomfort.
It is hard, especially at first, precisely because of that conditioning. But real strength isn't about never feeling the storm. It's about learning how to hold space for it, trusting it will pass. I heard a story once about a CEO during a really rocky period for his company. He stood up and told his team, honestly, I'm scared we might not make it through this, but we are absolutely in this together.
Wow, that takes guts.
It does. But his honesty, instead of some fake cheerful pep talk, actually built more trust and solidarity within the team. It made them feel connected, human.
Yeah, that's such a stark contrast to the everything's great corporate mask we often see. It feels real.
Exactly. The point isn't to chase happiness every single moment. The point is to live fully. And living fully means feeling fully. Emotions are like the palette of colors for the painting of our lives. If you only use the bright, happy colors, the picture ends up looking flat, lacking depth.
Okay, so if just be positive is the wrong advice, what's the right approach? Are we supposed to just embrace negativity, just sit around being sad or angry all the time?
No, not at all. That's a common misconception. The antidote to toxic positivity isn't negativity. It's authentic, grounded hope. It's not about pretending things aren't hard. It's more like a light that acknowledges the darkness it's shining in rather than just painting over it.
Okay, authentic, grounded hope. Define that a bit more.
Healthy positivity means acknowledging the reality of a situation, the good, the bad, the difficult parts, and then choosing a constructive way to relate to it. It sounds like, okay, this is really hard right now, and I trust I have the strength to navigate it, or I feel really hurt, and I know this feeling won't define me forever. It holds space for the emotion, the context, and your ability to respond, your agency.
So it doesn't try to skip over the wound. It actually helps the healing.
Exactly. Toxic positivity tries to erase the difficult stuff. Healthy positivity works to embrace and integrate the whole picture. Maybe some quick contrast would help make it clear.
Yeah, let's hear them.
Okay. Toxic, don't cry. Healthy, it's okay to cry. I'm right here with you while you do. Toxic, well, at least it's not as bad as X or others have it worse. Healthy, your pain is valid, period, even if others are struggling too.
Big difference.
Toxic, just think happy thoughts. Healthy. Let's take a moment to name what you're feeling, and we can figure out a next step together. Toxic. Failure isn't an option. Healthy. Failure's part of learning. Let's see what feedback we can get from this and adjust.
Right.
Toxic. Erase all negativity. Healthy. Let's try to understand all our emotions. They're messengers bringing important information.
That really highlights the difference. It's like emotional junk food versus a nourishing meal. One gives you a quick rush, the other actually sustains you.
That's the perfect analogy. And when we think about building that healthy positivity, I often think of 4 pillars. You need all 4. First, validation. Simply acknowledging this feeling is real. This situation is hard. It matters.
Okay, validation.
The second, regulation, not repression. Using tools, breathing, grounding, naming the feeling to help your nervous system settle rather than just stuffing the feeling down.
Regulation, got it.
Third, meaning.
Yeah.
Gently asking, what might this experience be teaching me about my needs, my values, my boundaries? Finding the lesson, not forcing one. And fourth, only after the first 3 comes forward energy. Taking one small, manageable next step, not a giant leap, just a little bit of constructive action.
So the toxic version happens when you try to jump straight to step 4, the forward energy, without doing the validation, regulation, and meaning-making first.
Precisely. You skip the essential groundwork. That's where positivity becomes hollow, even harmful.
This is so useful. Can we give people some actual words to use, like practical microscripts for common situations where toxic positivity usually pops up?
Absolutely. Let's try 5 common scenarios. Okay, someone is grieving. Instead of the classic, they're in a better place, maybe try, I can't imagine how much this hurts. I can't fix it, but I want you to know I won't leave you alone in it.
That feels so much more connecting.
Right. Okay, someone's feeling really anxious. Instead of, don't worry, it'll all be fine, try. That sounds really scary. What's the most worrying part for you right now? Can we just sit with that together for a minute?
Acknowledging the fear, not dismissing it. Okay.
Someone's clearly burnt out. Instead of, just push through, grind now, shine later, try. Wow, it sounds like your body is sending a really clear signal for rest. How can we help protect some actual recovery time for you?
Supporting the need, not the symptom.
Exactly. A child is crying hard. Instead of, stop crying, you're okay, try. You seem really upset right now. Do you want a hug first, or maybe just a quiet corner for a minute? Offering comfort and choice. And lastly, maybe to yourself after a setback, like you messed up at work. Instead of, oh, I'm so stupid, just think positive. Try. Ouch, this really stings. That mistake hurts. And I still belong here. What's one small thing I can learn from this?
Those phrases feel like they offer breathing room, like oxygen.
They really do, don't they? And for building this into your own life, your personal practice, here are a few simple tools you can experiment with. First, a quick name plus need check. Just pause and ask yourself, I feel, name the feeling. I need what support or action would help.
Name and need.
Second, try the 90-second allow. Remember, emotions often have a physiological lifespan of about 90 seconds. If we just let them flow without resisting or fueling them, try just allowing a feeling for that long.
90 seconds. Okay.
Third, use a reality plus possibility sentence. Acknowledge both truths. The reality is the difficult thing, and the possibility is a hopeful or constructive element.
Reality and possibility, balancing it.
Fourth, maybe try emotion wheel journaling. Look up an emotion wheel online. They have tons of nuanced feeling words. Picking the exact word often makes the feeling feel less overwhelming than just saying, I feel bad.
Get specific.
Fifth, practice a compassion reframe. When that inner critic pipes up, why am I like this? Gently reframe it with self-compassion. Of course I feel this way. It makes sense because reason.
Makes sense because, yeah.
Six, when supporting someone else, use the support loop. Before jumping in, ask, right now, do you mostly want someone to listen, help brainstorm solutions, or just provide a distraction? Given the choice.
Ask what they need. Love that.
And seventh, maybe try a shadow appointment. Schedule just 10 minutes once a week. Sit down and quietly write out any of those hidden, unacceptable feelings you've been carrying. End it by writing, thank you, message received, just acknowledging them.
A shadow appointment. It's like therapy meets your calendar. I like the structure.
Structure can really invite honesty, can't it? Now, one last important thing. Be aware of red flags that you might be slipping back into toxic positivity yourself. Notice if you feel guilty whenever you feel sad, or if you find yourself dismissing others' pain with quick slogans. If your journal only contained wins, never struggles. If you feel panic when someone near you cries. Or if your automatic answer is always, I'm fine, even when you feel numb inside.
Treat those moments not as failures, but as signals. Dashboard lights telling you to check in.
Exactly. Just gentle awareness. Pause. Regroup. Maybe try one of the tools.
Okay, let's do one final mini dialogue to really cement this. Say I come to you really down and say, ugh, completely bombed that interview. I just feel worthless. How might you respond using healthy positivity?
Pauses gently. Oh, wow. I hear how much that stings right now. That sounds really rough, and it makes sense you'd feel disappointed after putting in the effort. Your worth isn't tied to that interview outcome, but the feeling is real. Do you want to just sit with that disappointment for a bit first? Or would it feel better to maybe think about what you learned or what you might try next time?
Yeah, just that pause, that validation, and then the choice. It feels like it changes everything. It opens up space instead of shutting it down.
It really does, doesn't it? And that highlights the core difference. Toxic positivity performs. It puts on a show of strength. Healthy positivity accompanies. It walks alongside. One says, look at me, I'm unshaken. The other says, wow, I am moved by this difficulty and I'm still right here with you.
That feels like the difference between wearing heavy armor and being a steady lighthouse.
Beautifully put. Armor isolates. Light guides. So as we start to wrap up this deep dive, maybe just hold this thought for a moment. What if real strength isn't about never crying? What if it's about the courage to not exile your tears? What if healing truly begins the moment we give ourselves permission to say, you know what? I don't have to feel better right this second. I just have to allow myself to feel honestly.
That's a powerful reframe. So maybe we can leave you, our listener, with a few gentle questions to reflect on. No pressure to answer them now, but maybe just let them sit with you.
Which emotion do I usually label as bad or negative? And what might that emotion actually be trying to tell me if I listened? Whose comfort am I really protecting when I hide how I truly feel? Is it mine or is it someone else's?
Good one.
Where in my life right now might I be performing I'm fine when what I really need is to invite support? What would healthy positivity, the real kind, sound like in my own self-talk today? Just one small phrase. And maybe, am I chasing the look of being happy or am I actually working towards becoming whole with all my different parts?
And perhaps the deepest one to consider. If you stopped spending energy policing your own emotions, constantly trying to feel the right way, what energy, what freedom might be liberated? What could you use that freed up energy for? Love, creativity, just being present.
It's a lot to think about. Remember, you truly don't have to glow to be growing. You don't have to shine brightly every single moment to be worthy.
Yeah.
You just have to be real.
And in a world that's so often focused on filters and curated perfection, your honesty, your willingness to be authentic, that is truly the rarest and most valuable light you can offer. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today.